Each month, Annie and I host a deeper dive, which is a live Q&A with an expert in the field of lactation, business, or personal development. We hope you enjoy.
Hey, everybody. I'm Annie,
Hi, I'm Leah.
and we are here today for our deeper dive with Rachel O'Brien, IBCLC, and a bunch of other things that I should know. RLC, and you've got an MA, I believe, in there also. Um, so we are going to have a fun chat today about private practice. Yeah, so welcome.
Welcome, Rachel. We're so happy to have you.
Hey guys, I am so glad to be back.
I know
I
this
know.
is your second time. We were, it's the sequel.
Yes. We needed more time last time, so now we've officially got more time with you, more time to learn all about your business and how it's gone and advice you'd give to others. So we're really excited to get to throw out kind of the ball to everybody here to really ask questions and kind of take the direction of the call today. So it is going to be like an open format where you guys can ask questions, or if there's a specific topic you'd like to discuss as a whole. Or maybe some specific questions about Rachel, because not only does she have an amazing private practice, but she's also a wonderful blogger. It's a really popular blog and a great brand presence. So she's got so many great things going for you, Rachel. So
Amazing. I love listening
tell
to
us
you
how
talk
to
about
be
me.
you.
Why don't
I
you
sound
tell
great.
everybody describe your private practice and tell us what is like the latest in your private practice? Because I know you had some new things happen recently. So give us the overview.
Yeah, so just to give everybody a super quick background, I went into private practice planning on doing private practice. I didn't do a volunteer organization beforehand. I wasn't working in healthcare beforehand. Like I went all in from 0 to 100, bam. Which looking back, I don't know what made me think that that was a good idea, but that's exactly what I did. So I have been in private practice now for 6 years. And my practice is nice and busy. You know, I was tootling along, doing home visits like everybody else. And, you know, I would do some virtuals here and there. I had been doing virtuals for a while, but then, COVID. And so I went 99.9% virtual for a full year. Every once in a while, maybe once a month, I will go do a follow-up home visit, but that's it. I'm just not going in people's houses. Luckily for me, I've had the volume that it's worked out, and I've been able to stay doing private practice at the same level financially that I was before because I have fewer expenses, which is kind of nice. But I just within the past month started subleasing an office from a psychotherapist that's in my town. So I'm starting to see people in person in an office setting, which has been a little terrifying. I had an office a few years ago that was a similar setup, but it was in a postpartum wellness business that folded within 2 months. So I was super into it and I got everything all set up and we were great to go. And like a month and a half later, the lady was like, we're shutting the whole thing down and the owner is suing me, and it went bad real fast. So
Jeez.
yeah, it wasn't fun.
Horrible.
And it made me not want to do it again for a while. But it's been good for me because I don't have a contract with this person. I'm not leasing for a year. I haven't signed anything scary. So I just have a room. Basically, the way I see it is I have a room I can meet people in, and then I don't have to worry about going into houses. So that's where my business is at currently. I'm still completely 100% full time. This is the only thing I do. I ended up being able to drop my hospital position. I did a hospital position for a while just so I could have a foot in the world, even if nobody was calling me to do private practice, but I got to drop that. So that's where everything is at with me currently.
Wow,
Subject
that's
to
exciting.
change, right?
Brittany is asking in the chat, what made you just take that jump to get an office?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We were just talking about this before you guys came on. Once you've not had to do home visits for a while, you kind of get used to not having to do all the extra driving and the packing stuff up and putting it away. And, the 20 minutes it takes for the family to really warm up to you and feel comfortable with you because you're in their home and you're a stranger that just walked in is going to hold their baby. I found more and more as the pandemic went on, I kept on saying to my friends who do lactation, I was like, I don't think I can go back to doing home visits. I don't know that I want to. I loved them when I was doing them, but it didn't feel, I was so exhausted by the end of the day. I mean, I'm still exhausted by the end of the day, but it's a different kind of fatigue. And I have so many fewer expenses. So that's why I did the office. I still wanted to be able to see people. I wanted to be able to do weighted feeds, do oral exams on the babies. But I wanted to take the factor of going into homes out of it. So we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, if everything dries up and nobody wants it anymore, then I'll go back to home visits. But I've been very, very lucky that every time I'm like, oh, I'll try it this way, it's pretty much worked out okay. So fingers crossed.
I totally hear you about that. And I've gone back to doing home visits and I'm doing them on a very limited basis. And I find them exhausting in a way they never were before. And not having control is really hard for me. And I think that's partly just because of, this whole time has been a feeling of out of control that I'm like, it's just really nice to like know what I'm doing and not go into these spaces where I don't know the rules and it's not my own space and I'm not comfortable here. And I spent the weekend, Saturday afternoon walking around my neighborhood. I said to my husband, I was like, I really want an office. All my friends are getting offices and it sounds so great. And I'm like, and he was like, running some ideas about like, I told him about some place I heard about that's in Manhattan, which is a pretty far subway ride for me, but like not impossible. And he's like, well, what about that? I was like, well, really, I just want a place that I can walk to. And he's like, let's go for a walk. Let's walk around and see what there is. So we took a walk around the neighborhood. We looked at some spaces. I could rent an old cell phone store for $2,800 a month, which actually I'm like, if it was going to be like a retail store and like share it and sublet it, but I'm like, I'm not that person right now. And then we texted a couple of places that had like, signs up. So that I was like, oh, maybe I'm overthinking it and worrying too much about it. And now I have a lead on an old Taekwondo studio that was taken over by a theater company. And they're like, we have space to rent for artists. And I'm like, I'm not an artist, but I like artists. And it's babies. And he was into it. So could be happening. Cause I'm like you, Rachel, I just don't know that I want to go back to I like the in-person, but the logistics of home visits are just enough.
Well, and it's like Lisa was saying in the chat, she said, I home visits feel so much better to me than when I was working at WIC in an office. And it's totally true. Like home visits feel 10 times better than I did working in the hospital for sure. But once that's what you're used to, then you start to think of ways. I mean, the problem with home visits is there's only physically so much you can do in a day in terms of how many houses you can physically get to. And if you've got to do the charting all the time between every single person, I was always terrible at that because I need space to like zone out and decompress after everything every time. So if I had a 9 o'clock and an 11:30 and a 2 o'clock, I mean, I would be dragging, first of all. I would be so frustrated. I would be in a terrible mood by the third one. I could spread them out and get big blocks of time between them, but that doesn't help my family that I'm then gone for 12 hours to see 3 people so that I can have a break in between. So this way I just have more control. And it's funny because I thought that the office visits would be so much faster because that's what everybody says. But I'm finding that like just being able to sit in a room with somebody and talk to them, which I haven't been able to do in a year, you kind of just sit and talk to them because you're just so happy to see another human being like that you are not related to that. That part of it, I'm like, oh, we just had a 2-hour long follow up and your baby's totally fine. But we had fun. So it's cool. Have a good day.
We have 2 people in the chat, Lisa and Jamie, who are saying they like home visits after doing, Lisa was at WIC and Jamie was in the hospital for 33 years. And so they're finding home visits to be a refreshing change of pace. I know you've done hospital work too.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to
Hospital work is so, I mean, hospital work is very much, it's triage. It's very much like you got to get this working right now, this 1 second, because the whole goal is to get that family to go home.
If you enjoyed that snippet, the good news is that deeper dive was recorded. And by joining our membership community, you can have access to that deeper dive as well as our entire vault of deeper dives going back through 2020. You will also be automatically invited to our live monthly deeper dives, so you can ask the experts directly all the questions you want to know about that topic. We look forward to seeing you at our next deeper dive.